A big letdown at the big house, and it happened over the weekend. Another one. Yes, this season quickly turning into a wash. Losers of 3 of their last 5 home games, including Saturday to Utah. Look at a rain delay. That might have been the bright spot.
I don't think that fan was going to dry out all this water.
We're going to need a bigger fan. The Wolverines haven't gotten into the red zone, let alone the end zone, against their 2 Power 5 opponents. And look at this. Brady Hoke's first full year on the job resulted in the number 7 class in the country. But then you can see what's happening. Class rank still at 6 and 13, but then in 2014 down to 18. And despite signing the number 2 overall player last year in Jabril Peppers, there you see the number 18 class there. So we saw Mississippi State winning. It helps. What is losing like this under year 4 of a head coach? What does that do to recruiting?
Well, it kind of hurts your efforts because Garrett Taylor, a current Michigan commit, had even talked about on ESPNRecruitingNation.com about how schools are already starting to bring up Michigan struggles to win. Maybe there may be some staff changes. So it gives a little bit of ammunition to those other programs that are trying to lure away Michigan commits. Now, some of their commits, like Alex Malzone, the quarterback, has said he is firm to his commitment, that some of the other players are as well. And this is a class with 11 prospects, 8 of them in the ESPN 300. This is not lacking for talent, but it does seem, Tom, to lack some of that firepower of those upper-tier players you would expect Michigan to get. And unlike in previous years where they got off to fast starts, they got off to a slow start this year. That was started with some good players like George Campbell and Damian Harris decommitting very early on.
And if you're going to be off to a slow burn, you need to be off to a fast start on the field so that slow burn builds up. I think with the slow start now and then what we're seeing so far on the field, what's happening is you're seeing, and of course we saw this on the sideline this past weekend with some dissension on the sideline between coaches, Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator, and Brady Hoke. But more than anything else, what it allows you to do is if you're a competitor to Michigan, whether you're in the Big Ten or whether you're Notre Dame or you're somebody else out there, you plant that seed of doubt of, well, where is this program going? And there's no question, as you referenced with guys like Garrett Taylor, that comes into play. That's the natural progression of what recruiting has turned into. And when you are into year 4 and everybody thinks it should happen yesterday and it's not happening fast enough, that does put seeds of doubt in prospects' minds. Fair or unfair, that's the reality of the situation.
You see, from 11 wins in year 1 to 8 to 7, what are they going to do this year? Let's bring in Gerry Hamilton, recruiting analyst. Gerry, what's the scene for recruiting? What are you hearing from prospects there for Ann Arbor?
Yeah, when you look at Michigan, it's not the guys they have committed. I think those guys are solid, even through the struggles. Craig Haubert mentioned they've struggled to build the momentum in this class with Damian Harris, the nation's #1 running back, backing out of that commitment, now being an Ohio State lean, as well as George Campbell, who's now committed to Florida State. But when you look at the struggles on the field and who it could impact for Michigan, it's the top guys left on the board. ESPN 300, number 28, Keyshawn Lucier South. He's a guy who UCLA and Michigan have been at the top for. He took a visit to Oklahoma. And the question is, with UCLA having success, Oklahoma having success on the field, USC making a run, can Michigan sustain? Can they stay in there for Lucier South? A second ESPN 300 prospect that I think Michigan's fighting that same uphill battle on is linebacker Osa Messina out of Utah. He's a guy who UCLA's in on, USC, Wisconsin. So the question becomes, can Michigan close on any of these top remaining guys in 2015? I think they're up against it right now.